they say no, the information must be in Kampala, so you travel to Kampala. On several occasions, people have come here, and as they are members of parliament, we facilitate them to ensure that they come and cross-check whether their IDs are ready. And only to check it's not ready. So you have to give them transport again back to Vulambuli because the ID is not ready. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Nkunyinji, then Honorable Mzale again.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, mine is a field experience. I personally enrolled from Kasanga to Town Council. And I found the machinery, Nira officials, they served me well. It was very fast. The challenge I've got is now from the voters. When the exercise was originated, it was at the Town Council. And now I've heard they are moving parish to parish, probably to reduce distance. Machazit is still bigger because we have villages, they are still at parishes. But the challenging experience I've seen, I've received some of our people coming to me requesting for money that you need 10,000 to line up for the enrollment exercise, especially when they are at the parish levels. Does it need a charge? If there are people defrauding our people, who are those and are you aware? What have you done? Number two, those who go to these enrollment centers and have issues of change of names, they are not being assisted. Where should they go? And at what level would they be assisted or enrolled? Because I've received so many of our people from Chadondo East complaining that they had issues of change of names, but they can't be handled in the field, and they're denying them enrollment, even if they come with an ID. And number three is the misleading information from some Nira officials. From a number of the victims who are telling me they are pursuing change of names, they are equally telling me that it is the Nira officials who told them to indicate even past names. And when they indicated them, they found them indicated on their IDs, whereas those are not the names they are using. Which empowerment do you give in selecting the people you send in the field? And how can people be assisted, especially those of change of names? And lastly, the Chair, on the issue of issuance, we are waiting, and it's coming to even election time. We hear that Nira might be in connivance with the ruling party to rig elections in the guise of electronic systems, failure to update and to ensure that people are given their national IDs on time. Please, what explanation are you giving us that Nira is not associated with any intent to deny voters eligibility? When and how are you going to issue these IDs? Because we need them. It's not enough to narrate that we have 1 million printed. Where are they?
Okay, thank you very much. I do not think it is in order to speculate and to assume bad faith on the part of a witness that appears before us, especially in matters where we cannot prove empirically or even scientifically that there is an intention to collude with those that intend to rig elections. One thing I know is that the culture of rigging elections exists in Uganda, but we would not want to discredit institutions that come before us. It would be very unfair. So to that extent, we shall expunge that reference to the insinuation. I sustain the question of when are you going to give Ugandans their national IDs? And two, why does it take that long? Those are valid questions which we must give the witness an opportunity to answer. But she will not start from a point of being discredited. I so guide. Buzale?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to begin by thanking you for the guidance you've given. Although, Chair, my concerns are very simple. What could have been the rationale of upgrading your national ID? Were there cases of forgery? That was your basis? Because, Mr. Chairman, I find this exercise very expensive for Ugandans because I'm looking at the budget cost, which was 300 billion. That is the initial budget. I don't know whether it's going to go for how long for you to complete this exercise, or that money was only for 1 year or for the entire exercise until everyone is actually registered. So, Mr. Chairman, we need to get to know the rationale of having this exercise.
Finally, Deputy Chair.
Chair, Madam Chisembo, according to people outside Uganda, you gave them an option of registering online. But these people, they are facing a challenge of your system requiring a letter from the chairperson of the LOC1. I thought that you could just ask for, the system could ask for the location of that
Is
person.
that for renewal or fresh registration?
Fresh registration and renewal.
Even renewal?
Online, because
Okay.
I got a complaint from Nakaseka Central for those people who are in Dubai, who are in Abu Dhabi. When they're registering online, they are being asked to provide a letter from the LOC1 chairperson, and they couldn't access it. So I think you can clarify on that.
Maybe they meant the LC chairperson of Abu Dhabi. I think we will now give an opportunity to the witness to answer uninterrupted.
I will first dispense of the question in diaspora. In diaspora, even if you checked on our website, you're only required to present a letter from our embassy so that we can know you're a bona fide Ugandan. We do not require you to present a letter from the LC1.
Why would you require that proof? By the very fact that someone has a Ugandan passport upon which he traveled. Maybe passport is not your control, it is another directorate.
It is that many people
But you
out
have
of the country
integrated systems.
have expired passports.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even when it expires, it has existed. You
It
have
is
that
true.
one in your database.
It is true,
Do
but
they cease to be Ugandans?
they do not cease to be Ugandans, but it's not very easy for us to validate or support an expired document.
Even when you issued it?
We could have issued it, but we do not. It is prudent that for our citizens who are out of our country to be living peacefully within other jurisdictions with the right documents.
Yeah, but the question is, then what do you expect to be the basis for the embassy?
So in the embassy, when they come to the embassy, in the event that their passports have expired, they will be renewed. It is one of the services that they are supposed to receive. As a Ugandan citizen, they have a right to come to their embassy anytime and all the time to receive all services relating to citizenship.
Okay.
So in for that country, they recognize.
Gaffer, you were trying to...
Yes. Chair, two things. All our passports have our names.
Not, it's the new one since 2022.
Yes. So if it is that, then someone wants to renew the ID online. Now, that is one. Number two is that you assume that all Ugandans out of this country are in jurisdictions where we have embassies. But that's not the case. There are people in countries where we don't have embassies, and therefore they cannot access those offices. So what is there for them for them also to have the services that you're offering.
They can-
Supposing the embassy also says, before you come to renew your passport,
Bring your
come with a
ID.
national ID. Because even here, before you get a passport, they ask for your national ID.
The embassies, even if a country doesn't have an embassy, each country has an embassy to which they can, refer the consulates.
Expect this Ugandan in one country which doesn't have an embassy and which does not have any consular service to travel to that country which is supervising, okay, and then be able to access consular services there before getting there.
We don't ask them to travel. We can give us an email. They can give us a copy of an email or a communication, because even what we eventually pick from them is a document. So that document can be an email, it can be a letter.
Is that clear in your
It is
system?
very clear. It is categorically clear.
And Chair,
And you know he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs
as a shadow minister,
in the next government.
as a shadow minister, I'm privy to information that the embassies have not ably supported Ugandans, especially in line with those recommendations you so require. Why would Nira put abnormal requirements? If someone has an old ID or a passport, whether old or a new one, why wouldn't you support these Ugandans? Because most of these embassies are even reluctant to issue letters.
Now that's a judgment that the requirement is odd.
She confessed she confessed that they need a letter.
That's true.
From embassies. Embassies are not issuing those letters, and should not be a basis to deny Ugandans.
Honorable Mwadan Kunyinji, I do not think that is also okay. For
Chair,
you
she-
to blanketly say they do not issue those letters.
She's aware. She's aware that.
Madam Chisembo, are you aware that
I'm sorry,
embassies...
sir, I'm not aware.
Do you have examples of cases where embassies have issued these letters?
Yes, I do.
Share
Our
with
teams,
us.
as I speak.
Just share with us a
I
few
will, sir.
samples.
Chair,
I will, sir.
Chair, for your information, the embassies, under diaspora engagements, normally have a group they relate with, a smaller group they call Ugandans in the diaspora. But it does not constitute all the Ugandans in the diaspora.
Certainly
and
not.
they are very reluctant to support those who are not closer to the embassy, even if they have national IDs. And they shouldn't be denied. Neither shouldn't go into the politics of how embassies operate and how ambassadors are appointed. Some have become political.
No.
So
I
Nira
think
should be
Honorable
supportive.
Mwadan Kunyinji, let's concentrate on the propriety or otherwise of the requirements. That's number one. Number two, let us also not demonize embassies as if they really do nothing to help Ugandans. For us, we can only point out that the alternatives you are providing for are not sufficient and suggest it may also not be proper to tell an agency that has appeared before Parliament, mark the word, Parliament, that just issue IDs anyway. Because this ID may be used by somebody to do something else, which may not be good. Our emphasis, Rosemary, should be that we look at integration. If we are satisfied from our internal consultations.
Chair, just for information, the embassies are not recommending opposition, Ugandans belonging to opposition in the diaspora. They are denying them most of these facilities. And that's why we are now cautioning Nira.
I am opposed to this government. Day and night. Listen.
And I'm a shadow minister.
Yes,
with information.
Day and night. And for almost my entire life, adult life. Yes, almost my entire life. The point you are making is so legitimate, but we cannot use your evidence on the microphone that is at the bar, as you and I know. I would be very, very appreciative if we got those complaints. We laid them before the witnesses. In which case we would require the presence of the Foreign Affairs Minister or Ministry to come and explain such a thing. But it is unfair to the embassies, first of all, blanketly, to refer to them as hostile to those of us in the opposition. It would even worry me when I travel out of the country that I would even fear to go to those embassies because I've received a statement to that effect. As Minister for Foreign Affairs, my advice would be get the complaints of those that have been denied services. One, denied services, probably two, on account of their political leanings. I will not blanketly entertain a statement that embassies are hostile to us. You know the rules that I will not treat it as evidence. Thirdly, you're addressing a very good question to the wrong people. These people have no business with how embassies conduct their business. But if we received some evidence, however small and minute, we would require the presence of the Minister of Foreign Affairs or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, probably with the ambassador or ambassadorial staff in question. Please answer the questions that I have not overruled. No, you are switching off the microphone. Don't escape from the jurisdiction.
No, sir. On the question of why is there an expiry date, the first in section 89, section 69 of our Act, but also it is further, anchored by science. A card is a plastic material with embedded security features, who by reason of time, the features deteriorate. Notwithstanding, I will join that question with a rationale. The mass enrollment and renew exercise seeks to register more new Ugandans than renew cards. We have 17.2 million new Ugandans to register.
They are not new Ugandans.
Okay, new registrations to carry out.
17.2
million compared to the 15.8 million renewals. On the question of voters, and I think the voting entity is the Electoral Commission. They've systematically come, I think 20th January, they began the process of updating the register, the searching of the register, and at no time did they hinge that to a national ID. They looked for eligible voters, they gave them criteria, and there was nobody who was disenfranchised.
Yes. Was there any consultations between Nira and the EC?
Correct. There are always consultations between Nira and EC.
To what effect? And
what
is your contribution to the generation of the register?
The law defines a person who can vote as being a citizen above the age of 18. The register in Nira is used to verify, one, who is a citizen, and two, who is above the age of 18. So on a continuous basis, we interact on who is a citizen, who is above the age of 18, and who may have changed their names.
When we were enacting the Registration of Persons Act, I remember there was a huge debate on the role of your register, which is the National Register. And one of the things that was that actually the Electoral Commission, like many other agencies, would use your register as the raw material.
It does use it as a raw material. However, there are aspects of that register that are required to be obtained in real time by the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
So we are the starting point.
Yes.
They obtain the register of citizens above the age of 18. And what they told us about the residents and their polling stations. However, they are required by law to update this information continuously to the benefit of citizens.
Actually, not to update that information. They only update their register.
Yes.
That upon getting the raw material from you, they constitute it into a register. Then the updating begins from there.
They update the particulars that change about a person. For example, they may have shifted, and they need to update someone.
Right.
With regard to distribution, we have shipped out cards, and the distribution has started. With regard to
the distribution, that's a bullet statement. The members need to know.
Okay, we have shipped out cards to 146 districts.
Okay.
The ones that we have so far printed. Of course, Kampala has higher numbers than any other district, but every district has received a certain number of cards for distribution.
Honorable Mwadan Kunyinji, since you did the renewal from Kasangati,
from Kasangati Town Council headquarters.
You pick yours from Kasangati.
I was there. There was no ID. I don't know if the ID is updated. That they are not there. Where are they?
Okay, Madam Chisembo, why has the member not received his?
Tomorrow, I will provide to this committee the information from couriers who we have used to distribute these cards countrywide for avoidance of doubt.
Chair, wouldn't it be fitting that the executive director also talks about decentralization of inquiries? Just why do I move from Cosase to Kololo to inquire? What is her strategy?
Sir, we are present to date. We have been present in at least 7,239 parishes in the last 12 weeks. It is not correct to say that people come for inquiries to Kololo. Even the buses in this country, we've registered 8 million people. We have not recorded 8 million people in Kampala for renewal.
I answered about inquiries.
So it is not correct to say that all people come to Kampala for renewal.
No, for inquiries.
Chair, maybe we should not simplify our concern with the word inquiries. My colleague had said people move from Ulambuli to come to Kololo. It is equivalent to coming from Songora South to Kololo. If I need to collect or anything, I have fulfilled everything. Why can't I get my card from my district?
Sir, you will get it in your district. I said tomorrow I will bring National Courier and DHL that have taken cards to the districts.
Yes,
so the cards have been taken to the districts. They are not going to be picked from Kololo.
Chair, the situation is even more worrying because
so far, out of the 43 million Ugandans, maybe say 20, only 6 have received their national IDs. What if the rest are not interested in this renewal? And it's very a serious matter. It has constitutional implications. You don't just own an ID for your...
For those that are not interested,
No, but here...
what do you want them to
a
do?
national ID is not an issue of interest. It's not. When you look
Honourable
at...
Swami, that's a good question. That's a good issue you're raising.
That's what I'm... Yes, sorry.
But the question is, did you make it compulsory under the law? And what are the sanctions for not obtaining or for being disinterested?
Maybe that's why you want to get from this...
For her, she deals with the people who go to her and apply.
But Chair...
She rolls out a program, communicates it to the people. And that's what the law requires her to do. I think there are two
There was
things.
a very big oversight.
Both of us,
we
both have a role to play.
Yes.
We as parliament
Exactly.
and we as citizens.
No, citizens, Chair, we are always there. First of all, for them, they do appreciate they have to be identified. But it's not an issue. Tobalabala, you don't have to count my kids, etc. That feeling. Now that we know it's a vital tool we need for development, and we did not envisage that when we were making the law, we want to get something from the technical officers, which we can send in our report, because only 6 million maybe are interested.
The blame that would go to these people, even during the enrollment exercise that I've seen, is 1, inadequate materials. 2, if we are talking about inadequate training for people who use these machines and the time provided. But I understand that registration across the country is a continuing business. At the sub-counties, they cannot make it continuous at the parish level. Because unless we are ready to give them that money, if you have the money, I am concerned about those who travel from Bulambuli or Busongola to come to Kampala. But from what she says, I think it is also a question of how our people appreciate these things. No, there are those who go there and maybe at the parish or sub-county, the officers there are clueless. They give you all manner of excuses. I remember sending some people to go and obtain a death certificate. When they arrived at a particular station, they told them, bring an original national ID of the deceased. I mean, there could be some of those isolated cases. And I called her, I said, so why don't you instead, you're the one who issued the national ID, so you have all the particulars. Why don't you call the deceased? I said it comically and told her, why don't you call the deceased to tell you where he left the national ID? But for somebody who has come with a short death certificate from hospital, you tell me bring the original national ID of the deceased. Now, those are isolated cases. That's why I did not bring them here. So, Ugandans, when called upon to go and register, let them go and register. That's number 1. Number 2, from your end, make sure your machines are there, make sure the people are trained, make sure the people know. And at every station, there must be somebody who takes a decision or supervises others. I think that's the only way I would allow a fault on them. But that some Ugandans are not interested. Bulambuli.
Elgonos, Chair.
Well,
thank you, Chair. Chair, I wanted to ask the accounting officer. I have a case here whereby this person applied for the national ID on 23rd April from Bulambuli, 23rd April 2025. The student was admitted on government sponsorship, and one of the requirements was to provide a national ID because it's 21 years. He had applied at school, did not get. For this case, he applied now from Vlamble and he was enrolled. They sent him to Kololo so that he would be helped to process it faster. The application ID was given to him. I can read it for you. Since this committee is evidence-based, I don't want you to... The application ID is 124 435 000 8F04. And the names of Nangoli Apollo. Nangoli Apollo. Chair, when you go to Vulambuli, Nangoli is the common name because these are successful people in the community, so it's very common.
Please allow me pick the last
to date,
the last 000
8F04. That is the application ID. To date, we are now in August. The boy has not what? He reported to Makerere actually last week. And they insisted they want the original ID because it's on government sponsorship. Could you give more light on that?
I'll ask my team to send for details of that application ID. We shall resort to it as soon as I get information on it. Change of name. The law requires us to record the names by which a person is known by, whether they are 10 or they are 5 or they are 2. It is part of the identity of the person. So we encourage people to tell us their names. Otherwise, they will pass off in society as one person and commit crimes under another name.
Okay. This thing of change of name where people have to go and swear did Paul etc. Is there a way you can simplify it? For example, and now I'm asking you as our technical person. For example, other than going through commissioner, then go and gazette, etc. Isn't there a way you can simplify it by providing forms which would be available at sub-county level?
And Chair,
I
raised the question of change of names. I've received the complaints from mostly the pensioners, these older people. When they went to register, you know, these pensioners, they had names they were using on their official records. Now, when they went to register, unknown to them, that when you give so many names, you are altering your identity. And they were tricked by Nira officials. Now, they are burdened to look for money to now file for change of names to return to their original names.
How were they tricked?
The same thing she was mentioning, that the names were known by. For example, Segona Akari Amagwa, you will find yourself with Akari Amagwa when it was just a popular name somewhere.
Unless your name is a trick.
Now,
but we just recorded all names.
I think these people who are the people who are recording.
Wait. The registering person, the official registering.
Yes.
How would he even know
when these people give their names?
The name that you're passing around with?
No, when these people...
Let's not shield our voters into making mistakes.
I'm making a case for these older persons because they are majority are victims.
But if no, even if that old person is old,
someone is called Salongo in a village, and he finds a Nira registering Salongo.
That's okay. You have a Salongo here. We have a Salongo Willie Kunya, whose title Salongo is in the passport. That is what he goes by. You remember in your first or second year, the case of Namwandu against Attorney General versus Attorney General. Now, somebody decides to go by the name Namwandu. Okay? So if someone has submitted the name as such, what do you want Nira to do?
Chair, according to the respondents, they were not well briefed. That we have to use, and we are seeking Nira going forward to brief the people well.
You need somebody to brief you about your name?
Chair, we are talking on behalf of the people.
I will not speak on behalf of people who do not give their correct names.
Chair, they give their when they are gathering information, they ask them so many questions. There are those names they use. They always give those names, and by which they are known by. Then there are these other past names and other.
No.
When Nira is gathering information, they don't get this for now. They are burdened now with the challenge of a costly change of names.
I am now guiding that you no longer be heard on this matter.
Chair, you are betraying the people. The people, Nira must devise means of improving on this communication.
The people have betrayed themselves by submitting wrong names. Nobody will guide you that this is not your name. The only thing I have heard, and which I believe is where somebody tells you, and she has answered it, where somebody tells you those names are too many. If that was the complaint and that these people stopped you from submitting some of your names, I would understand. But somebody chooses to go by some popular name and he does not register it, or he registers it, then along the way he wants to change his name. I mean, you meet the cost. I was dealing with the question of where somebody is called Henry. Then on one land title it is Henry, on the other one it is Enrico. Do you blame land office? I think let's deal with the more serious matters of oversight onto the entity. Honorable Bakablindi.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm sorry I've come late, but there's something burning that I wanted to be clarified. Also, I was attending equally other issues. Chair, to go to the point, there is a kid of my relative I was helping. They had registered them from the school. There was an error in the name. I have no problem with that. We went to Nira, put the correct names, paid the 200. It is now 4 months. Whenever we check that the name is hanging. What do you mean by that term? I have all the details, the pictures here. 4 months down the road, the boy has never got his nanny card. And the answer is, some names are still hanging in the system. What does it mean? Nanny? That is not your confusion. I want to get an answer from Nira. 4 months. Can I know what is causing that?
In March 2025, the existing cards that we had at the time before we started the mass enrollment exercise, they ran out. So until we started the new exercise, there are people who were caught in the middle. They were caught before, they registered before the exercise started and before we got a new set of cards. We received all our first set of 8.1 million cards at the end of June. And until this financial year, that's when we received money for the additional cards. So it's a case of we ran out of cards, we've applied for new cards, the cards have all come, and we are beginning to distribute them. Thank you.
Chair, I've listened to the excuse, which sounds nice. Madam, can I check on you within a month from now that you got the money?
Yes, sir, you can. And not a month, he can come. I don't know his nearest district. We shall get, they have given us some, like this 134435008F04. We shall consult them and ask them to come to their nearest office. And for some, they may need to do a biometric update to get their iris because the old card didn't have an iris. This one has, and their card will be processed. Thank you.
Okay, we need to close this.
Chair, there was a question I asked on charging people.
Yes, she's going to answer that. Honorable Itungo.
My question, Chair, is not answered.
Which one?
I was concerned about whether there are new features on the renewed IDs. What are you renewing? Are you only renewing the expiry date or the other features you have renewed on the new card?
I have asked for for devices to come to demonstrate the new features, if you will allow me. That you.
But there could also be new features which are obvious. For example, if Honorable Itungo looked different 10 years ago, when you come for renewal, naturally,
So if you look at that card, the security features are highlighted. Those were not the number of security features we had.
What is the difference? If you could highlight.
If someone could bring us their old card, I would have the demonstrable difference.
You have your old card. Wait. Let's start with this.
If you notice in that card, only the side is lit.
Yes.
Only the side has engraved security features.
Yes.
But this card, if you notice, the whole card is shining, if I may use that language. Okay. You see? There is microprint, there is text speech.
I'm seeing on your behalf.
Let him walk around.
Okay, you can walk around.
In the middle.
No, Chair. I remember I asked a question.
Yes.
As to whether there were some forgeries.
Some people want to see
on the old card that perhaps could have been the justification to go for this renewal.
The key forgery was people were overwriting the picture, and Chris, you can show him the ghost image. No, you'll have to release it officially.
You have not received your card. No, I think, Honorable Muzali, the question you're asking, there used to be, before integration.
There were people where, if you allow me to show you.
Yes.
Chris, if you would come back out.
No, he's still showing Honorable Mwadankunyinji.
Okay.
But, Honorable Bakabulindi, you need to see with your eyes, not your finger.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, is it the difference is only on shining, or there are also other features?
She will answer that. You know,
I think it is. I use the word shining for ease of explanation, but it is because if you go and buy a card from Nassau Road, I vow to you that it will not show you that shine or that lighting under purple light. That is the same that they look for in money. When you go and they are trying to validate, those are security strings inserted to ensure that the card is
how much
secure.
Is that? How much is that torch?
This torch is, I think, is 5,000 or 3,000 shillings. I don't know.
Oh, it's the ordinary one Itungo has for his calves.
It is not a.
Okay, let's go.
Maybe if I return to what, if you notice that we put something under the face here called NID. Previously, it was not there. People would just go to Nassau Road and overwrite this picture with someone else's picture and keep the rest of the detail. Now we've embedded a ghost image here and even in the map to address that. We've also embedded features that return a person to our side to verify with consent what we actually have on our side. And it's a small barcode that has a link to get details right. It's an online verification, if we may so say. We have also added what is called tactile, or for those who are living with disability, to be able to identify on which part of the card their name and card number is. We had put it on the NIN, but it had an interaction with a hologram that was not favorable. We've added an additional hologram So we have a total of about 9 new security features. Thank you.
Question on the people charged.
Which she didn't answer. As to whether the budget she asked for is basically to cover the entire exercise of renewal, or every year we shall.
That one and the one of charging people under Mwada raised.
The budget we asked for was for 17.2 million new registrations to address anybody in the country who has never been registered, and 15.8 million renewals, but it will cover all cards up to 24 million and all new registrations. So we are hoping that with your support, not necessarily financial, but in mobilization support, people will come out, and those who've never registered, register. Those who need to renew, renew. That being said, I want to commend the people of Uganda. It is not usual that in a space that every week we have close to 1 million or 1.5 million people coming to seek our services. We highly commend the effort that Ugandans have made in getting their names in the National Identification Register. Thank you. On the 10,000 shillings, we have severally said in all languages. We actually acquired a person who speaks very many languages to tell people that you don't have to pay. In all local languages, widely spoken.
Now, when they don't pay, they are not served.
For that sort of people.
This is where the challenge is. They say, if you don't pay the 10,000,
yes.
Chair, this is important information.
It's an act of corruption.
Because the people say, if you don't pay 10,000, they don't allow you to line up, they don't serve you. Now, what should the people do?
In your constituency, as we speak now, there are some people who tell your constituents who want to see you that you give me 20,000 to see, to see the MP. In my case, I have received and exposed several. Now, that's an act of corruption. You do not expect the executive director of Nira, seated at her offices in Kololo, to know those vices. Unfortunately, we have heard all those stories, all of us, I think, as MPs. But unfortunately, they cannot come forward to tell. Even when we gave him Kwiringira, a trained spy,
but
he cannot deliver on that.
It is her exercise. It is Nira doing this exercise of mass registration. The people are complaining that without 10,000 you can't line up. If you line up, they don't serve you. They send them away for days and days. What is she going to do in behalf of Nira?
Just
so that people are served.
Bring her a few.
Exactly.
There are very many.
We have.
Where should I bring the many?
Chair, if you will allow me to answer.
Yes.
If I may be allowed to answer. Every time we arrest, I'll give an example of Butambala. We received a complaint. The politicians went on ground. We're having what meeting is called, like an open door meeting. People stepped out and said, we would like to complain. They accused a couple of people. Police went in, arrested the people. They kept the people for 2 weeks without a complainant reporting to the station. But anyway, for some districts like Mubende, we have arrested 4 persons. Tulibamu, Sempebwa, Nalweiso.
Have you prosecuted them?
Yes. Have you
had them convicted?
It's not very easy because
no, you see, that is the problem I have even with Uganda police. You come here on the microphone, in front of the camera, you parade people, and I come from the background of a lawyer and a human rights defender. People who are not going to come here to defend their names.
Fair enough.
So I will expunge that.
Okay, I apologize.
Ugandans, let us do it this way. When you get out to complain, be prepared to pursue it all the way. That's number one. Number two, when someone asks you for money, report to police. Let the police give you money where even the serial numbers are already recorded, or even your own money. Let the police record serial numbers. You go, you trap their people. But you do not expect somebody seated in Kololo to know who has solicited for gratification. I will only allow the Honorable Kasolo, who has not had time to ask. If it is simple, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And my concern to the accounting officer is one. Madam Accounting Officer, whereas the exercise is good and we like it, within the country, it's still lacking. You have not covered the country. Now you're abroad. How do you, what picture does it paint when the nationals within the country have not been covered? And you are now in Doha, Dubai, and everywhere. When really you have not.
Honorable Kasolo, Ugandans have been given an opportunity. One, to do mass registration. Two, the services to Ugandans are continuing at the sub-county. Those that did not enroll.
Mr. Chair, my concern.
Why would you stop Ugandans abroad
my
from
concern
receiving
is
services?
one. Where I come from, people sit, you wait for these people. They don't see them.
Yes.
And these are people, locals, who are farmers. And
that is true.
They sit, go, they book them that we're going to be in a particular parish or a sub-county. They wait 3 days, they don't see them. Now, for me, who is in Kampala, my Nira is in Doha, and you're saying you're.
But are there Ugandans in Doha who need services?
No, we don't envy them. But it would be much better if they are done thorough work.
No, for Ugandans, the exercise is ongoing.
Mr. Chair, I'm asking the entity. But it seems you are now defending.
No, because you came late. No, wait, because you came late and we have covered that area. I'm only polite to you as a colleague to allow you re-ask a question that has been answered.
But it doesn't.
And I'm guiding you.
It doesn't cause harm on the.
It does, because it consumes our time. No. Let's go to the report. Report, issue number 1, Madam Chisembo. Let's have Coach Bob first. Count. Okay. 1, together. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3,
Nira, Parliament, Uganda, ourselves, our families, Uganda, Parliament, IDs, 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 Chairman, Chairman, Nira, Nira, One, two, three. 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 Count together. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. One, two, together. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. You sure that's it? Say, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Present. Out. Present. Out. Present. Out. Lawful chairman.
Bob, you must have repeated P7. Okay, commercial break. During the commercial break? No. Because it is after the break.
Nira has delivered the national IDs for MPs.
You man, who allowed them?